Here in California, we are told to stay ready for wildfires by building defensible space, conducting prescribed burns, clearing out dead and dying vegetation that can serve as fuel for the flames, and listening to our firefighters. But what these firefighters want us to know today is that the #1 killer of firefighters is not the flames, but cancer. Between 2002 and 2019, cancer caused 2/3 of all line-of-duty deaths among firefighters. That's according to the International Association of Firefighters. According to the CDC, they are 14% more likely to die from cancer compared to the general population. So to protect those who protect us, some fire departments are adopting new protocols. Bruce Steffen reports.
CPC doors unlocked.
It takes constant training for firefighters to respond to dangerous situations, which is why they run simulations like this. But Kyle O'Neill says firefighters are also battling an unseen danger. He's the Cancer and Health Coordinator for the San Diego Rescue Fire Department and is training the next generation of firefighters on how they can minimize their risk of getting cancer. He's been a firefighter for more than 20 years and was diagnosed with testicular cancer in 2016.
Probably the worst part of it all was the lost time with my family, like time I'll never get back because I was really sick, I was in treatment.
According to the International Firefighters Association, occupational cancer is the leading cause of line-of-duty deaths in the fire service, likely a result of chemical exposure. Kyle says all fires have hundreds of toxic chemicals in them, including some known carcinogens, which make these protocols of scrubbing down and decontaminating just as important as knowing what to do when running into a burning building.
It's similar to a car wash. You get rinsed, you get scrubbed, and you get rinsed. But that eliminates 85% of the visible contamination from the gear.
Hi, how are you?
Good for you.
Piper Denlinger is a retired fire captain who was diagnosed with breast cancer while serving.
So I remember walking out that morning and hugging the fire engine, which is really silly. But I hugged the fire engine because I was afraid I was not going to see my fire engine again.
She says she saw many others get the same diagnosis over her career, but she has seen a shift in how firefighters behave when it comes to their dirty and dangerous gear. Simple things like wiping down skin immediately and washing gear after each use.
A lot less of that bravado of wearing dirty gear and a dirty, disgusting helmet.
She beat cancer and was able to come back for a wonderful career. She believes the work Kyle and others like him are doing will save countless lives.
We're starting a whole new culture. That's going to cause a decrease in cancer. Absolutely.
Today, Kyle is cancer-free and says he'll use his past experience to help protect firefighters of the future.
Recognizing that we have a threat and we have to do our part to lessen that opportunity for exposure. I'm really fortunate to be a survivor.
Helping to protect the heroes who risk their lives every day.
Thank you, Bree. Now to talk more on this issue is the State Director for the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, Scott Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us, Scott. Let's get right into it. First, I want to know how widespread are these changes that we're starting to see in some of the fire departments, like Bree mentioned in her report?
You know, first off, thank you for having us here. We're seeing a big shift in the fire service. It's becoming more commonplace, and firefighters are becoming more aware of the practices they need to take to reduce their exposures, such as you saw in the San Diego Fire and Rescue video and the story there. We're doing Firefighter Cancer Awareness Month right now with the International Association of Firefighters. We're providing resources and training materials all month long so firefighters can take a safety stand down nationwide and up into Canada. And honestly, it's become a worldwide issue where this awareness level and training is coming to fruition, where we're starting to see a lot of different agencies take the needed steps to reduce their exposures.
Now, one of those needed steps is loss, presumptive loss. On paper, these are supposed to cover injuries or illnesses caused by employment. How effective have these laws been for firefighters here in California, and where do they fall short?
Well, you know, we have a great presumptive law here in California. Under Section 3212, it states that any firefighter that gets diagnosed with cancer, it's presumed to have come from the job. However, just because it's presumptive does not mean it's not rebuttable. So firefighters need to do their due diligence. They need to keep records of every exposure they've been on. They need to keep records of all the different incidents they've been on throughout their entire career because cancer has a latency period. It can take time for it to develop. Um, that's where our laws can fall short a little bit. And then obviously we talk about that latency period. Many firefighters developed cancer long after they retire.
Right.
Now we do get certain number of years post-retirement that you can still file an occupational cancer claim under workers' compensation, but it's very difficult to prove after you've retired and difficult to get those presumptions in place. Every state in the nation has a presumptive law, all 50 states. All of them are different. So we urge firefighters to really understand their presumptive laws and how they work.
Now, as we start to understand even more about cancer and its links to firefighting, we're also hearing that female firefighters are at higher risk for some cancers, and it's directly tied to their gear. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what we've seen through all the different scientific studies that have taken place with NIOSH, CDC, and others, and the current firefighter cohort study that's being done, female firefighters and firefighters of different ethnicity are getting different types of cancers than their male counterparts or their Caucasian counterparts. Some of the hypothesis is that the gear does not fit a female firefighter like it does for a male firefighter. They need to be custom fit. FEMA put out an article, I believe last year, that describes this, and they think that the ill-fitting PPE or turnouts are causing the particulates to penetrate.
Scott Denny, State Director for the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, thank you so very much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for having us.